if we're showing up for like a casual like dinner or something, if there's other people there, they can be having a nice conversation without you. But you can't start a D&D game until everybody's there,
Yeah.
because you don't want them to be all like, "Oh, my character would have done such and such," and then it's like, it's a whole thing.
Oh, I wish you'd have been there because my character would have done something completely different. Okay. Then you should have waited on me if it was that damn important. All right. Just kidding. Always show up to your
you should have
D&D
been on
game.
time if it was.
You should have been there.
Always,
that's
always
where I'm at.
show up to your D&D game on time. I think Dave showed up. Dave's the only one who's like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm running late. Everyone else is just like, hey, what's up? I'm here.
He's not even late.
Yeah, I'll get here when I get here. I'm like a fucking wizard,
There's an established
Adam is never late, nor is he never early. He always arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah, there's an established pre-show that we're going to talk about, that we planned. So we're not even planning anything. We're just going
to wing it.
We're just going to wing it. I think I do have everything that everyone wants to probably talk about. And more.
Oh, definitely more.
That's such a tease.
Man, I was supposed to... I don't really need to work right now. I'm not bragging. That's just a fact.
You don't need money.
I have a certain amount of money at this point, is this juncture, where I'm not really engaged in doing anything, important. Like, I'm not motivated, but, I have feelers out all the time, So I found a really dope gig where I just sit on my ass at home and do nonsense. And I was supposed to start tomorrow, and they're like, no, we're just going to start you Wednesday. And they're like, maybe. I'll email you and let you know. Yeah, so it's a little fishy. It's a little fishy.
That's very fishy.
Yeah,
and they're just stringing you along. It sounds like.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm okay.
Are they going to make you sell knives?
Perhaps. Hopefully, it's not door-to-door knife selling.
You actually kind of have the energy of a door-to-door salesman.
Hey,
I don't know how you're supposed to take that, but I
don't know either. It's better than car salesman, I'd say. But I mean, I'm not bashing on anybody. Hey, if you're happy selling cars, I'm happy for you selling cars. All right, let's do this. Let's do this shit. Man, it's gonna be a surprise. No one's gonna. I don't even know what we're talking about.
What is it gonna be?
I haven't looked at my
anticipation.
Notes in weeks.
Fucking hubris.
It's true. How dare we? But I'm kind of relieved, dude, because I'm getting hammered tonight. I've already planned it. I am taking shots. I'm watching. I'm not sure yet. Some probably old '80s movie, I would assume. Little Giant Vacuum Cleaner from Walla Walla, Washington.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, Riddle of Steel podcast. Is that even a thing anymore? Riddle of Steel. Greetings, geeks. Greetings, geeks is what I always say. It's better than howdy, nerds. Howdy, nerds. Or should I switch it up?
Well, nerds is not part of the name of the podcast.
Nerds.
Yeah,
howdy.
Dumbass.
Howdy.
Nerds.
It's another episode of This Geek and Comics, our Geeker Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show.
Gomer Adam Nolan Taylor, aka David. How's it going, guys? Riddle of Steel actually used to be a dope Conan podcast. And it should come back. I'm pretty sure they paid money for that logo.
Have you seen like the Gail Simone Twitter account today?
No, I didn't.
She posted He-Man or Conan the animated series, and like, man, I don't understand why everybody's so hyped about this Masters of the Universe.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It wasn't meant to be that way.
You got it, Gail.
Thank you.
Segment 1. Man, I just feel like I'm just going to take charge this week because I had such an awesome week of doing fucking awesome stuff. Except for comics, really.
Well, don't let us get in your way. Go ahead, spiel.
I watched this. I think this is from actually 2019. It's on Amazon. It's called Eye of the Beholder: The Art of Dungeons and Dragons. All right. It's basically a documentary about TSR, in the early days and how they just
TSR, not
how
these
they
crappy
collected
ones.
artists and Clyde Caldwell, just these timeless, pieces of art that I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I was deep into D&D when it was, second into third, really. And even a little bit of first, I'm that fucking old.
Well, I was not alive for that. So.
Yeah, but I mean, just watching this, man, I used to thumb through those books like all the time, Just,
Oh
I
yeah,
love that
all,
one.
all
yeah.
the D&D books have fantastic art.
yeah.
The Monster
Yeah.
Manuals
Some of that-
alone, just
Oh.
flipping
Some of
through
that looks
those,
like
looking
Frank
at all the
Frazetta,
monsters.
man.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where they started. The documentary actually goes back to like classical art, showing these, adventures, going back to the roots of fantasy art, and even brought up like the Sistine Chapel, how that's sort of fantasy art, and it is, and and then it gets into Frazetta and all that shit, and how these guys came up. This is probably the most famous
Yeah.
one here.
One of the more
Larry
famous ones.
Elmore, yeah, just amazing shit, dude. So I had an amazing time watching that.
But I'm not surprised they put
go ahead.
Beholder in the title of the documentary, because Beholder is one of the only monsters that Wizards actually has a trademark on.
Yeah,
Like you can't trademark dragons or zombies or things like that, but they made up the Beholder, and that is copyrighted. So,
and it also works like with the art. Art is beauty of the art is in the eye of the beholder.
Eye of the Beholder.
It works on a lot of levels, but yeah.
I also, and then on the other side,
I remember this.
The Eye of the Beholder documentary just brought me such joy for nostalgia. Things from my past that brought me so much joy. And then I watched Woodstock '99. And everything about the decade that was the 90s just sort of crashed in on me. Dude, I've got
we lived it.
on this. I mean, yeah, we lived it. But, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, because you just weren't alive. And I don't know how, ubiquitous this story is, but they put this festival together.
The 25th anniversary of the 1969, or like...
Yeah, this is actually a series of documentaries. It's actually called Woodstock '99: Peace, Love, and Rage. Or it's on HBO Max. It's from Bill Simmons. He's the guy who did 30 for 30, right?
Yeah.
So they start off talking about how in the 60s, the original Woodstock, things were not as innocent, as history makes it out to be. There were terrorist attacks on some of the food stations because there was a group that didn't appreciate the amount they were charging for food, so they burnt down a bunch of shit. People got hurt.
Hippies were fucking violent, man.
Yeah. But everything else there, okay, was about peace and love. That was the air that came out. At least that's what everybody believed.
That's the
and
image
everybody was mad at a war. Okay. Now the 90s, everybody was mad. All right. Now it was like the opposite. Like at the beginning of the 90s, we get grunge, right? And say what you want about grunge now, but Kurt Cobain and a lot of those motherfuckers, they were woke as fuck.
Grunge it was revolutionary for the time.
The hair metal's back.
But I will forever be grateful
for that.
But I mean, while hair metal had this sort of, bounce to it, it wasn't violent. It wasn't angry. And neither was grunge. Grunge wasn't angry. Grunge was more like a reflective sort of music. But by the end of the 90s, a bunch of white, rockers had co-opted hip hop, and you got Kid Rock, and you got like Korn, and you know what I mean? You Limp fucking Biscuit, right? So the artist
this was QAnon music when there was no Q.
Yeah. So at least it was made for white frat boys, and I don't think that's unfair to say. But we were told that the 90s were going to be something different than they were, living through the 80s, all this, everything's going to be great. We did all these amazing things in the 80s, space shuttle, fucking destroyed communism, all this amazing stuff. And it all just sort of fell flat. But we were still so engaged with the system that we had no outlet for it. We didn't understand what we were mad at. And the Woodstock 99 sort of culminated with all that, because the system had sort of packaged that anger and fed it back to us in the form of the music we were listening to. And I mean, this was night one. All right. 350,000 people. Look at this sea of people after he breaks it down right here. Just look. Right. And this was night one. All right. By the time they got to Saturday night, Limp Bizkit came on and there was a riot. And when I say riot, I mean there were tens of thousands of people who were charging stages, burning shit to the ground. And then they just kept going. They just kept the event going. Their water was $4 a bottle, and you weren't allowed to bring
That's crazy
water,
in the 90s.
and you weren't allowed to bring water in with you. Yeah.
Now, wasn't there also like another Woodstock in the 90s? Like
Woodstock 94.
that's the one I'm thinking of.
Fantastic. But
It was
again, at that point, it wasn't geared toward
because Woodstock 94 was the 25th anniversary of Woodstock. And then Woodstock 99 was the 30th anniversary, and then after that, we haven't had one since.
Yeah. So it was really good. It was a great documentary. It sort of, it's eye-opening in a way to be that kind of reflective on my generation, and that's what it was. I watched the pay-per-view. I bought the pay-per-view and got stiffed by my roommates when the bill came. I was pissed. But, yeah, that was dope. They're doing a whole series of them. Alanis Morissette, Robert Stigwood and Saturday Night Fever. DMX is getting one. Juice WRLD is getting one. And the one I think I'm most excited for, Kenny G.
Oh, really?
One. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to check that one out.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to kind of feed into how he was kind of a joke, but the greatest modern jazz musician of our era.
I like jazz.
Yeah. I don't mind jazz. My favorite joke is, how a Kenny G concert ends? Hey, buddy, wake up. The concert's over. All right. Last and not least, because Dave, I know, wants to talk about it. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Or actually, it's Teela.
It's Teela. Yeah, it is totally Teela.
It should be more aptly named Life After He-Man.
But He-Man's in it the whole way. All right,
he's in it in a way. He's definitely in the first episode, and he's definitely in the other episodes with flashbacks. But
the flashbacks are the best parts.
They are very reminiscent of the old '80s cartoon series.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's because that's what their flashbacks are. But yeah,
my biggest problem with Masters of the Universe Revelation is if Teela has an issue dealing with the revelation that Adam is Prince Adam is He-Man.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
How the hell is she going to deal with the fact that she's the next sorceress?
See, but what you're doing is delving into continuity that they may or may not.
They may not touch on that.
Who knows?
But
they should. They should. She's I don't know.
She turned.
It was okay.
It was okay.
She turned her back on magic in this series.
I didn't really need this.
Enjoyed this series.
It was okay. I didn't really need this deep dive into Teela, Evil Lyn, and Orko.
I didn't mind that at all.
It was okay. Orko was still annoying as shit, even though they gave him the hero.
His
voice is still annoying as fuck.
This sort of fixed Orko for me, man. And Evil Lyn character was dope, dude. She had a lot of layers to her.
They just turned Orko into Hodor. I know you haven't seen that show, but that's all
I understand who he is, though. I understand who he is. I don't know. I liked it.
I really hated the end of it when after the Voldemort stunt comes to fruition. And
with that.
I hated that.
Really? Well, you knew his ass was coming back.
I knew he was coming back, but Skeletor pulls a Voldemort essentially.
But then he goes and pulls like a Macbeth, man. That was classic, dude. I loved it.
But I really hated the fact
that was his plan the whole time. Was that his plan the whole time?
I really hated the fact that when Skeletor shows back up after this period of time where they've gone through heaven and hell literally to get this sword back, and Evil Lyn decides to still side with the man.
Well, she's torn. She's torn, man. Yeah, I mean, she was Beastman, but no, that was her whole goal. Her whole goal was to bring Skeletor back.
No, her goal wasn't
to bring magic back and to bring
magic back.
Yeah, well, that comes with it. I'm sure she didn't seem very, very mad about it. She seemed pissed, like Orko was my friend now. But there's a lot of people bitching about it just being about Teela, and Teela is a lesbian, probably. They never really come right out and say it. But
who cares about that?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that's what they're bitching about, and I think it's kind of
well, fuck those people. Those people don't matter.
I do understand. I
understand being angry about it. It's a Master of the Universe show, and it not really being about He-Man.
But this is only part one.
But it's only part one.
And it was still entertaining. There's no denying.
It was entertaining. I'm glad it was only 5 episodes because
it was quick.
It's like a whole lot better than
I don't think my
series in 2000, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think my attention span would have been lasted on the show for longer than 5 episodes. Yeah. So I'm glad it was this short.
Yeah. I like the scare glow thing with the fear, but I think
that guy, the actor who did the voice of Scareglow, was the guy who played Candyman.
Yeah,
Todd Hayes.
Tony Todd.
No, Tony Todd. Yeah. He also played my favorite Klingon, Kern. Star Trek and Deep Space Nine. Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. Worf's brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
He gets plastic surgery and
Tony Todd is a voiceover legend, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
horror
he's
legend.
Amazing. He's amazing.
I did not know Kevin Conroy was Merman.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy was Merman?
I picked out all of them. What's his name? Damn. The Kirk.
Merman didn't do anything.
Clancy Brown.
Who's Clancy Brown?
Beast.
15. He was
Beast Man?
Yeah.
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 He was Lex Luthor. He's
Yeah.
Well, I know who he was in
Yeah.
other shows.
Yeah, he was the Kirk.
I mean, anyone on the panel here who doesn't know who Clancy Brown is needs to excuse themselves.
I always forget his name because it's like when I think
Mr.
of him.
Krabs.
Because when I think of him, I hear his voice, and then all of his characters start just popping in my head. One after another.
Yeah, this does sound like a real who's who of voice acting talent.
Yeah, Hamill. Mark Hamill was in it.
I'm still not going to watch it, but I'm glad that you guys seem to have a good time with it.
Dude,
I don't care about He-Man.
Watch the first episode. It's 20
hey.
minutes. If you're not into it by then it was 20 minutes well spent.
Taylor,
to know for
Taylor,
sure.
if you don't care about He-Man, as a person who also doesn't care about He-Man, don't watch it. It's not good enough to watch. It's not bad enough to. It's just okay. So it's
I appreciate you saving me some time there, Adam. Thank you.
All right. Well, anybody else do anything? We're not even in the news yet, and we're basically.
I did go see Snake Eyes. Are we going to talk about that or what?
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about Snake Eyes.
It was okay.
Man, we got a lot of mediocre this week.
Yeah, speaking of mediocre adaptations of crappy things from the 80s,
yeah, I agree, Eli.
Okay, Snake Eyes is not a crappy thing from the 80s.
No, okay, yeah, Snake Eyes. Okay, so I'll
second only to Boba Fett for 80s toys, man. Maybe
I will
Optimus
preface
Prime.
this by saying that I do not know, nor do I care about the textured lore of the G.I. Joe universe. So from that angle, I don't have anything to say. But this was a pretty solid action movie. I mean, this was one of those things where you always knew it was going to be kind of bad, but was it going to be like good bad or was it going to be bad?
Eli said Motu's
when has a G.I. Joe movie ever been good?
Never, as far as I'm aware. I mean, that one with The Rock in it was entertaining, and this is probably in that same ballpark. They don't really focus on...
Eli. Stop.
Well, whatever.
Keep going, Eli.
But okay, so the G.I. Joe versus Cobra stuff is really sidelined for this. This is really just like an origin story for Snake Eyes, and honestly, more so an origin story for Storm Shadow. But
well, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah. That being said, the heel face turn that Snake Eyes make and the face heel turn that Storm Shadow makes both feel kind of shoehorned in at the end. Like, I feel like they didn't really develop that super well. But, like, the action scenes are, fun. There's some good fight choreography. The cast does a pretty good job acting throughout, bottom to top.
Well, there are those sorts of turns in the G.I. Joe lore. There isn't a video game you're playing better than Motu. He's gonna keep going with Motu. Cool.
Good for you, man.
I'm gonna wait on Snake Eyes.
Okay, so yeah, that is probably my bottom line for it. Is it will be a lot more enjoyable if you don't pay to see it.
Great. Or are paying anyway and just happen to get it included with.
Right.
I have the Regal Unlimited thing, so it's effectively free for me to go see it. So.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So I had a decent time when it wasn't coming directly out of my own pocket.
Nice. So you can just go see a movie every day?
I can just go see a movie whenever I want, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
How much is that?
I got it on a Black Friday thing, and I paid about $150.
So that's not bad.
So yeah, if I go see like a movie or two a month, it easily pays for itself. So,
but then you can just go whenever.
Yeah.
If you got some buddies, we're going to see a movie. Oh, I'll go too. Let's go. Yeah, that's rad, dude. I like that. Cool. Anybody else do anything dope, or just the dope stuff that we already talked about?
Just the dope stuff we already talked about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Everyone should watch that fucking Woodstock. Man, it's great. Fred Durst, like, it's like it was like Trump on 1/6.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was there on the 6th.
You should be surprised. What?
I said it wouldn't surprise me if Durst was there on the 6th.
No, he's got better things to do. All right. We did not have a pre-show. Are we going to talk Olympics? No Olympics. I'm kind of boycotting Olympics because I think it's ridiculous. I'm boycotting Olympics.
I'm not following the Olympics, so yeah, we can.
It was lame.
I'm not boycotting the Olympics, but
I'm tuning. I'm tuning in.
I'm not as connected
ceremony,
into it.
I skipped opening ceremonies for like the first time in and if I can remember, and that's both summer and winter. Usually I just get off on that shit, but this year I was just like, fuck it. And we watched like Talladega Nights or something. Honestly, it's like bored with it, Oh, I did watch
it's
the movies
definitely not ideal for them to be having it right now. I mean, they don't have audiences present, so there's no potential
I'm
for
probably
a super
going to end up
event, hopefully. But
there are a couple new sports this year that I do want to check out. I do want to check out Olympic skateboarding, and I do want to check out Olympic judo.
I want to check out surfing. I want to watch surfing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll watch like Simone Biles kill it and then get robbed with the dumb way they score that shit. But it's like I'm not going to seek it out live. You know what I mean? I'm not like...
Yeah, I'm not as plugged into it as I used to be.
Shit, dude. I remember waking up for curling one year, y'all.
It's so exciting.
Like 6 a.m. to watch some fucking curling. And I was like into it. I was like, whoa, all right, curling. Anyway, Batgirl Leslie Grace. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
I saw her in The Heights, and she was pretty good in that. I don't know much about her action chops, but yeah, I assume that she's gonna, get in shape and kick some ass in this.
So you did see In the Heights?
I did see In the Heights.
So this girl's literally dancing on the side of a building, and you're like, I don't know about her action.
Well, she wasn't punching or kicking anyone when
she was dancing. It's the same thing. It's same thing.
Not, but whatever.
Yes, it is. They call it fight choreography for a reason.
Yeah, man. If you don't go to
called choreography because it's like planned out.
The first rule of dance club is you don't talk about dance club. Dude, I think it's a great choice. I think she's great. A lot of people whining about race swapping and stuff. It's over. White supremacy's over, man. Okay, this is the norm now. That they're just going to cast whoever they want to cast, and you can either like it or you can continue to whine about it. It's weird.
It seems like
it's not going to go anywhere.
It is absolutely dancing. Thanks, Adam. It is absolutely dancing. Remember, damn, man, I got a mind blank. Die Hard, and they literally like hired a ballerina dancer as the bad guy, and he was great. Call. Anyway, great choice. I'm all over that movie, and that's just going to be on HBO Max, so definitely all over that. All right, comic book stuff. We're starting off lame. It's kind of lame comic book news this week, really.
Oh, I don't even know what this one is.
Cullen Bunn is going to create a shared comics
That's why I don't know what this
Outland
one is.
Entertainment. These are all going to be kickstarted first. So there you go. That's all there really is. It's called Dragon Ring. I was going to bring this up in the pre-show. I mean, the art, that looks great.
That looks cool.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Cool. Yeah,
it does.
But I don't know. Kind of a.
It looks like a pretty solid DM screen, honestly.
Oh yes, for sure. It does, dude. It does. So Aircell originally manufactured foam insulation, but when the company lost government contract, Blair, who was an employee at the time, persuaded the owner to convert to comics publishing.
Wow.
And then the company created a hefty catalog of black and white comics with color covers. Blair wrote many of the series, but its most famous property, Men in Black.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was Malibu.
Was wrong again. They must have bought it. When the
You
indie comics
ignorant
market
slut.
collapsed. Oh, here it is. When I stole this from, I think ICV2, sorry, the copy. When the indie comics market collapsed in the late 1980s, Aircell merged with Malibu and it officially shut down in 94 when Malibu was purchased by Marvel. I mean, that we all knew. John Woo was influenced by Hollywood musicals. Well, there you go. So am I. He fixes it here. We knew what you meant, Eli. I'm influenced heavily by musicals, so.
That should be a new genre. It should be like, the slasher fic with a musical, so it's a murdical.
A vertical.
They already have that. That Sweeney Todd.
Oh, yeah. That's.
But they need more.
They need an updated one. Like a John Woo style.
I don't know. They're making a West Side Story. Is that a murdercle? I mean, I don't know.
A murder does happen in that.
I tried to
A murder happens in a lot of plays.
Man, when was the last? I'm sure everyone
I mean,
here
it's
has.
a show about gang warfare. I mean,
I know. When was the last time you watched West Side Story, the original one from like the 60s?
Oh, it's been years.
A year ago or 2 years ago when I was on an airplane.
It does. They played it on an airplane.
Well, it was on a,
they want people to
like a
jump
little iPad thing, and you got to pick, and I picked.
Yeah, nowadays you get your choice of which airplane movie you want to watch.
Oh, that's right. That's right, dude. It does not stand up. Steven Spielberg is redoing it. The old one from the.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Dun, dun, dun. No.
I mean, it's not like the top tier like song list. It's not like the top tier like story or anything. But it gets like a solid passing.
Oh,
grade
I don't know.
in almost every category, I think.
Maria is one of my favorite musical numbers ever. Maria. I could start singing it right now. I almost want to just erupt.
Just erupt first.
Eternals are going to cross over with the 1 million BC.
Who cares about the Eternals?
They're going to cross over with the Avengers.
They need it because their book sucks.
I guess I'm the only one on here who still likes their book, but
I'm still reading it. It's okay, but it needs to get to where.
Wait a second, there's still an Eternals book.
Yeah, they're doing another Eternals book, Eternal Celestia #1. Kieran Gillen with art from, wait for it, Kei-Zama.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Kei-Zama is from back in the good TF days, the good Transformers books. Man, I miss her so much. She's been doing the covers for the Mech Strike.
Whatever else you want to think about the Eternals books here, they are getting some great artists to work on them.
They definitely
are. For sure. So yeah, I'm interested to see. They're going to cross over with the 1 million BC Avengers. I really like the 1 million BC.
Another team that hasn't done shit.
Motu is better than the Eternals.
Okay, so the team that was like around literally 1 million years ago, of course, does not do a lot in the modern day Marvel universe.
No, but the thing is like they were hyping the Avengers BC like
but they
3
did.
years
they brought
ago.
The Phoenix in. They
keep stringing us along with that. Like every now and then,
they have done nothing.
No, they have. Every now and again, they'll pop into his.
They will have.
I think he still has a plan,
but at the end of every.
He definitely has a plan. It's Jason Aaron.
Like,
Aaron don't go the crapper without.
They did an issue about Ghost Rider. They did an issue about Iron Fist. They did an issue about Phoenix. They did an issue about Starbrand. I think they've got around to everyone now, except for maybe.
I'm just saying. Don't have a big media.
They did have a Ghost
about
Rider
your new
Avengers
BC team, and then not do shit with them for 3 years.
But he is doing. He's just doing a lot of other shit. Like,
well, to be fair, the pandemic happened, so that put
give him a break, Adam.
Oh, that was one of the books that actually kept going during the pandemic.
Yeah, right. All right, moving on. Yeah, I'm going to read that just because of the 1 million BC Avengers. And I like Kei-Zama. I'm going to support Kei-Zama, especially at Marvel Comics. I want her to have more work. Darkhold was previously announced as Darkhold Alpha by Steve Orlando. Cian Tormey is doing the art, where the Scarlet Witch, who's currently dead, reads out of the Darkhold, which was written by Cathan and blah, blah, blah.
Honestly, I find it kind of refreshing that they're not even going to pretend like she's like permanently dead here. So, just might as well use her in other books. It doesn't really matter.
That's weird. That's kind of weird to me, but hey, whatever. So she's going to get to save them all. The Scarlet Witch must gather the world's greatest heroes. All right. So that's coming out September 29th.
Sounds like a road trip.
That would be great. I would read the hell out of that. But those were previously announced. So they are having tie-ins now to these. Darkhold Blade, Daniel Kibblesmith. I like him. Federico Sabatini is like, if you touch the book, then you become Darkholded or something. I don't know.
Cool.
And then Iron Man. There's an Iron Man one too. That's Ryan North and Guillermo Sana. I don't even know who Guillermo Sama is, but
it looks like that.
Blade seems like a more natural part of this.
Iron Man? Yeah, no shit. Yeah, Darkhold, like Evil Dead with superheroes, only it sucks. Exactly, dude.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it feels like.
I'm the badass.
I don't know that it's going to suck, but
this just feels like a massive skip for me.
I don't feel hyped about this at all.
Yeah, it feels weak. You know what? I chose this Darkhold news instead of the fact that there are now tie-ins for the death of Doctor Strange. Strange Academy and is tying in, and there's a one-shot. I don't remember what it was. But I thought this was more interesting than the death of Doctor Strange getting tie-ins, that this Darkhold bullshit's getting tie-ins. What the it seems so stupid to me, man. It seems so dumb.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to check out issue number 1. I'll probably wait and see what the reaction is from other people first.
I feel terrible about it.
I don't.
I'm not picking it up.
Make good shit if you want me to read it.
So,
yeah.
So maybe I should start assigning books on this show, right?
No.
You overestimate how much.
I know. You're like, oh fuck, yeah, dude, I didn't read that. Sorry. Did you read it? We'll just skip it.
Yeah.
Some good news: a righteous thirst for vengeance. Rick Remender teams with Andre Araujo for a murder mystery. Man, this is gonna be dope. Rick Remender, the scumbag. We are gonna talk about the scumbag. All right, on the tail end of this bit of news, which it blows my mind. Deadly Class, Black Science, joins forces with artist Andre Araujo. Generation Gone, Man Plus. Man Plus was fucking great.
Generation Gone was actually really good.
Yeah, I think I
read it. You and I read it.
Did I read it?
Oh, I definitely read it.
Anyway, Chris O'Halloran is doing the coloring. Favorite of mine. Uniquely atmospheric murder mystery with sudden bouts of brutal violence in the forthcoming A Righteous Thirst for Revenge and new ongoing this October.
Is it like a Korean revenge thriller?
Oh, that's what it feels like. Look at this. You know,
it looks like it's like something from Old Boy.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this art, man. It looks fan-fucking-tastic.
Okay, I'm sold.
I know, right? It's like, oh shit, I'm already sold. I am already sold. Rick Remender is always a hit, dude. You know, even when his books are kind of bad, they're still pretty fucking good, right?
Better than Darkhold.
The Professional meets Road to Perdition is how he's touting it.
Ah,
yeah. What? So then he talks a bunch of shit about how dope the book is. Of course he does. So yeah, that's coming out. Tula Lote is gonna have a variant, which is probably gonna be fucking awesome.
It will be.
But there's also perhaps some bad blood between Rick Remender and artist Louis LaRosa. All right, I don't know if you guys are paying attention this week, but it sort of came out that Valiant wasn't paying people. Oh boy, sympathy for Mr. Revenge, Lady Revenge. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm hoping it's something cool like that, Eli. I really think this is up your alley too, man. This book, it looks dope. But all right, all this shit came out about how when Valiant got bought by DMG, maybe they weren't paying people what was promised on the back end. All right, and it started a conversation in social media. And at one point, Louis LaRosa, I guess, retweeted something with, yeah, tell me about it, on somebody's comment about this, with a news article that said the scumbag, Rick Remender's new book, which Adam raves about. It's great.
It's okay.
I mean, it's gotten a little repetitive after 2, 3, or 4 issues. Yeah. You know, the same thing.
Raving is a strong word. It's
good.
Series. It's a good series, but it is a little repetitive.
So he retweeted that and talking about the scumbag in relation to this pay thing, right? So then I stole this quote from Bleeding Cool, who reached out to Rick Remender. The scumbag is different from my other creator-owned projects because Louis LaRosa, who was meant to draw the entire series and be a co-owner, quit while drawing the first issue due to his bad back. As a fan of his work, I was disappointed, but I had full sympathy. I told him I'll gladly wait until he was better and paid him on the work he had done, even though we all know that he didn't use that work, right? But he wanted to quit. A few weeks later, the best solution I could scramble together to save the book was to bring in different artists for each issue, which is something Adam and I have actually raved about.
That's the biggest strength of the book is that it has a different artist.
Different artists every issue. Yeah.
And this is really the angle I wanted to touch on because I knew you felt this way. With all the money dumped into their upfront rates, instead of doing things the way I always have with an image book, he's paying these A-list artists their upfront rates on a book that had not been collected yet. Lewis agreed to finish issue 1, but had to fit it in with his new Bad Idea book that he was working on. To date, I haven't made a single penny on the scumbag. The book is still in the red by tens of thousands of dollars. Every single penny went to pay the art fee. The way the scumbag put together is not how I would have preferred it to be, but Luis LaRosa has been paid everything he was owed in the contract and more, and it was 100% his choice to quit. If you ask any of the many artists I've done creator-owned works with, they will verify that they get an equal share of the profits and ownership, which I know. He gave what's his name Deadly Class rights, and he could.
Yeah, Wes Craig.
LaRosa replied in a tweet, even though this was not directed at Bleeding Cool or everything, but it was after the news came out. Remember, I signed over IP rights and rights to royalties when I needed to leave Scumbag due to my long-term health problems and was paid an agreed-upon page rate. I wish no harm to him personally or professionally. Please continue to support him and his works. All right, so the beef aside, whatever. People beef at work all the time. Man, that shit about the art.
That's really interesting.
That is really interesting how all that came to be, man.
Yeah, sometimes the accidents, the happy little accidents, they become the biggest strengths of your book.
It reminds me of Black Hammer.
A lot, yeah.
Black Hammer, Jeff Lemire's, basically, love letter to the Golden and Silver Age, which is an expanded comic book universe now, was never meant to be an expanded universe. It was just meant to be him and his main artist. I don't remember the artist's name. But at one point, that artist got sort of delayed on something else. And Jeff Lemire wanted to work with another artist, but he didn't want that artist to do that work. So he just came up with another story.
Dean Ornstrom.
Yeah, Dean Ornstrom. Dean had to do something else. So, but again, the biggest, I think, draw of Scumbag is that each issue is done by a different artist. I just think that's rad, and it's all one story. It's all one cohesive thing, and all the artists are professional and competent enough to be able to work within that and make everything work out.
Oh yeah, it all totally works together.
And it almost is the strength. I don't think I'd have stuck on it past issue 2 if it just would have been Luis LaRosa on it. I looked at issue 3 and it was I would
have gotten through the first arc and I would have been done with it because I would have known what it was. But the new artist every issue keeps it all fresh,
Yeah, yeah. And by issue 3,
you had some old friends you don't see in a while. Like Mike Powell did an issue.
Hey, that's what I was meaning. Yeah, did issue 3. By issue 3, I was basically done with the book. But hey, might as well stick around, So yeah, that's very interesting. It also kind of sucks that Remender's in the hole that much. He's like, damn, I spent all that Deadly Class money. This shit. But again, look for The Righteous Thirst of Vengeance in October on Image Comics. It looks dope. Finally, Dave, take it away. No?
That looks like Yusaki Yojimbo?
Yeah, you didn't see this? You didn't see any of this?
No, this is news to me.
Oh!
Yeah, it's going to be a Netflix show, right?
Yeah, they're going to finally.
They're doing a CGI Yusaki Yojimbo.
Yeah, here, I stole this. Hopefully.
You're saying Usaki instead of Usagi.
Hopefully I don't get torn down for this, man. Hopefully the video don't get torn down for this. The Bullies had a video torn down because they used like 20 seconds of a Biz Marquee fucking video. And I was like, man, that's
bullshit. Yeah, they did do that.
This looks rad, dude.
It does. It looks pretty good.
It goes on and on. I'm going to stop.
It has a very Lola Bunny vibe to it, though.
I mean, it's a bunny. What the fuck is a bunny? What are you talking about? They're both rabbits. They're rabbits. What the fuck should she look like?
She looks very much like that right there.
I don't think so, dude.
She's kind of tan.
I don't think so, dude.
Because he does like the ear ponytail thing going on. Like, what's the thing here for you, David?
We know what David's going to be doing after the podcast.
Stan Saki has a very distinct style, and nowadays we have animes and CGI animes that are very much in the style of the art that they are drawn in. Yeah. But yet we're getting this when we could get something that is very, very close to Stan Saki's.
No, I don't want Stan Saki. I don't want a direct adaptation of the art. I definitely don't want that. That's not gonna fly, dude. That's not gonna fly. We're living in we're in the future, bro. We're living in the future. I'm not talking shit on what Stan Sakai has done, but how would they even do that? I mean, you want to talk like what was that samurai show that they had on Cartoon Network?
Samurai Jack?
Yeah, you want it looking like that kind of?
No, I'm saying that we could take the artwork from the comic book and it can be done.
I don't think
in CGI, and we could have
I'm just gonna tell you, this is
animated series in that style of artwork.
like obnoxious fanboy shit that
Yeah, it is because I think this looks dope, dude. You don't
We
like
live
this?
in a day and age where this can happen.
But you don't like this. You don't like this.
We live in a day and age where
Hey, man,
it's
just be happy
okay
you're
to
getting
tweet.
I
this
like
guy.
this. I like this, but I think it could be much better.
Well,
You've seen 20 fucking seconds of it, and you're already shitting
That's
on
true,
it because
that's
it's
true.
not enough like the comic book.
yeah, that is kind of weird. I'll just say I agree with you. They could definitely do that, but I'm not going to besmirch them for not going in that direction. When it looks great. It does.
I want to watch an episode of it first before I really judge it.
Me too. So that's all the news I got. Was there anything else? Because we didn't have a pre-show. Anything else that happened this week that you guys wanted to talk about in the news?
Nothing that I followed.
It's weird.
They are
Comic-Con
making a
Well,
a,
Comic-Con
Wheel of
never has
Time
actual
show.
comic book news.
I
No.
think we knew they were making the Wheel of Time. I think they put out a still for it, a single
Yeah,
still.
they've come out with it's like they've announced like its
Anybody-
release schedule and
Did
shit.
anybody ever see that one really shitty pilot, the episode they did of the Wheel of Time one time starring Billy Zane?
Oh no!
No,
I
they
this
heard
only
sounds
about
produced
that.
amazing. I've never heard of this.
They
I have heard
produced
about it.
this pilot once only to keep the rights of the show,
Yeah,
and it stars Billy Zane. You can find it online somewhere.
yeah,
but
it's on
terrible.
YouTube.
It's
man.
awful.
It's on YouTube. It's awful.
I'm
but I
gonna
have
watch
heard of it. I
that
haven't seen
very
it.
badly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch that. After
So
we're done.
explain the. I honestly I feel maybe I need a punch in my nerd card. I'm not really up on what Wheel of Time is.
It's just fantasy shit,
is
man.
it
It's
just a
more Lord of the
fantasy
Rings
Yeah,
like stuff.
I mean, it's got
It's
like art.
It's more
it's like-
Lord of the Rings than it is a Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very archetypical fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Is it like a portal thing? People going to different places?
There are
Like-
portals in there eventually, but it's not like going to
Usually
different
portals is
planes
like
and
someone
stuff.
from our world going into that world.
No, there's none of that.
Oh yeah, that's like a type of anime I think where like Inuyasha.
Yeah, we talked
where,
about
you,
this
like,
the
go
other
portal.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Portal stories.
No, it's real.
There's a
You're
word
the
for it. I
you're
can't
the
remember.
chosen one who has to go and kill the evil Dark Lord.
Well, fantasy is hot
and then,
right now.
and then it takes 14 books for him to do it.
Yeah.
Fantasy's hot right now. They're talking about 3 different Game of Thrones animated shows and like 2 other live action. That Lord of the Rings show has a huge budget. The Witcher is hot. Now they're doing this Wheel of what is it? Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
What is it? Is there time travel involved or
No.
what the fuck, man?
The Wheel of Time.
I'll
always
watch it.
turns.
I'll watch it. Oh yeah, new Dune trailer. Oh man.
Oh yeah,
It
Dune
is-
looks fucking awesome.
Dune looks
I have
fucking
to
amazing.
Is
say.
Leroy upset about the space buttholes again?
No, what's wrong with space buttholes, man?
He didn't
Star
like. He
Wars
like. He
Really
like
the
space
biggest
buttholes.
fucking space butthole to ever appear in movies, but we're gonna shit on Dune
space-
for some reason.
The space butthole did not feature as prominently in this trailer anyway.
It's the only
But,
reason I'm
no,
watching.
I mean, everything I've seen about this movie so far gets me really excited for it. We're only a couple of months out now.
It looks like the first movie post-COVID that is like, man, if you see this in IMAX, the 3D, you're gonna have a better experience. You know what I mean? And that's not a lot of movies like that, but it really feels like they're making Dune like huge, man, like just gigantic.
I'm
And
still gonna
all-
watch it on HBO. Plus.
Yeah, and also on
Max.
HBO Max, which is where I will watch it. Awesome. Anything else? Nothing else. Food news. We got a
Yummy.
roving reporter, aka David, got his hands on literally some of these Pebbles bars that we talked about on the show.
How are they?
Earlier today. How are they, Dave? Please report.
Alrighty, the Cocoa Pebbles one does taste like a chocolate version of a Nestle Crunch.
Well, all right, hold on. Stop, because Nestle Crunches are inherently chocolate. It's
Yes,
literally
but-
all they
Yeah,
are.
what
But
the fuck are you talking
the
about?
puffed rice is not
Thanks for
chocolate
stopping by,
flavored.
Kaz. Yeah, I'm not sure how yummy they are. It tasted like a chocolate version of chocolate.
A more chocolatey version of Nestle Crunch bar.
All right, so it's more chocolatey than a Nestle.
Yeah.
What about the fruity one?
Actually, I haven't had that one yet. I have it right here if you want me to take a test.
No,
of it.
that's
It is actually the one I'm
Yeah.
more interested in hearing about,
It's
actually.
white chocolate and fruity. It's gonna be nasty, dude. All right, yeah, go ahead, pop it open.
All right.
Yeah, make sure you get that wrapper real close to the microphone.
Yeah. It's like ASMR.
Oh
now.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. You can really see the pebbles in here.
No, if you had a camera, if only.
Oh, it
The
smells
pebbles are
like
exploding out of the wrapper.
It smells like what?
it does smell like fruity pebbles. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is good.
You gonna start having these for breakfast?
No.
Dude, our numbers just shot way up since you've been review. I think we found our new niche, y'all.
AMS food testing.
Hey, you finally
This
have an
is
excuse to
mukbang.
like unwrap food on the show. I mean, you do it all the damn time anyway.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna make this show a
success.
mukbang.
This is the key to our success. Ain't it just stale cereal? I mean, I'm sure it is. No, it's not stale. It's kind of like when the mosquito got caught in the amber in Jurassic Park. It's stuck in there all fresh and gooey still.
You know
I don't know.
if you want to get into dinosaur stuff, I do know something really cool, but I'm not gonna
That's
tell you.
not.
No.
Do you guys know what Uncrustables are?
Yes, I love
Yes.
Uncrustables.
Did you know they had savory versions?
Oh, really?
They
That
have
sounds awful.
they have
That is
taco.
a-
They also have some sort of beef, like chicken, and now they have pepperoni Uncrustables.
well, yeah, you gotta.
The company famous for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They also have a hazelnut
Ooh.
one that's very good, very good. But yeah, I did not
I
know.
inherently
Keep the pocket.
mistrust something that normally makes jelly making a meat product. You know.
I know. It's weird, but
Oh man, lasagna is just meaty tiramisu.
savory tiramisu. Oh man, we really should expand the food segment. Just saying. Yeah, there's your Uncrustables, uncured pepperoni bites. Those should be in stores soon.
Uncured.
Uncured, yeah, this is the kosher, baby. I don't know if that's how kosher works or not.
I don't think it is.
I don't
It
think
would
it
probably
does
say
either.
kosher if it was kosher.
I think if a rabbi eats it.
It would have a little circle with a K in it.
Let's do trans. I
Do you have
know.
a moment of
actually-
destruction this week?
just a very brief run. New book announcement.
Oh, okay.
Transformers,
I remember this. Yeah.
Wreckers, Tread, and Circuits coming to IDW. Unimaginably risky missions, low probability of survival. The Wreckers are the right bots for the job. Yeah, you know what? These ain't my Wreckers. All right, these are my Wreckers. Okay. So,
Yeah,
suck my
those
dick.
ain't my Wreckers either. But
These
you
ain't
know,
my
I still,
How
I
about
still
these?
have.
How about these Wreckers? These
One
are
that has a
Fuck
beer
those
belly.
I still have some faith. in
Just
the
like
series,
NASCAR
though.
fans.
You know, it can't be much worse than what the other direct that we're getting right now.
Yes, they look like they taste like how your mouth would feel after you puke up pizza.
The Wreckers, because that actually kind of would apply
No,
to
they're
them
not
too,
the
isn't it?
Wreckers, the pizza
yeah.
pocket, the hot pockets. So who's writing this damn book? It's David Mariotti, the co-author of Transformers versus Terminator. Jack
That was
Lawrence.
fun.
Jack Lawrence is doing the art. He was on the Lost Light series,
Yeah.
and colored by Candace Hahn of Transformers: Back to the Future. So it's some good folks.
Some pedigree there.
Provides a glimpse of life on the distant colony worlds. Can we please get the fuck off the colony worlds and just focus on Cybertron? Far from the Cybertron war.
What the colony worlds need is a good plague of rust.
I don't know. All these little side stories have been the stuff I've been enjoying the most. All the
I don't
main
know.
Cybertron stuff has been shit.
Origins or Escape. Escape was garbage.
Escape was garbage.
But we got some interiors here.
Guess what?
Please stop eating. That segment is over.
Yeah, we have moved beyond.
Babies are full.
You
Of,
give David an inch, and he's going to
Okay,
take a
thanks,
mile
Cass.
when it comes
Thanks,
to eating
Cass.
his shit on the podcast here.
come back, man. Come hang out. Share the show. This looks okay. Looks like great art. I'm enjoying
Yeah,
that.
Jack Lawrence.
Oh, I love the action shots.
We're
but still,
parachuting.
these are my wreckers, okay? These are my wreckers. These guys. You can keep Blur, I guess. But these are my wreckers.
Where's Impactor? I don't see Impactor.
This is
Who's
where
the big guy?
This is actually the arc where they
I know
get
this is.
Impactor, and then he comes back.
Who's the big guy in the back?
That's man, I don't know. He wasn't actually
dies.
an original. Yeah, he does die. Like most wreckers, that's the fun of the fucking wreckers, and that's what I have that in my notes. If they don't kill at least half of the cast in the first 2 issues, it's not a record.
Oh yeah, they definitely have.
Yeah,
75% of the cast has to be dead by the end of the book.
Yeah.
Or else it's not a good Wreckers book.
But this is what we got: Blur, Perceptor, Cup, Springer back there, Blaster, and who is this right here in front of Blaster? That's
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, man. He's got a sword. Is that what's his name?
Drift. It's Drift.
Yeah, is that Drift?
It's Drift.
Dude, Drift sometimes looks a lot more like Japanese anime.
He's supposed to,
but he doesn't here. You know, you could see little hints of it. You know, with like his sidearm there. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. All right, let's get into this shitty top 3. Had a bad week in the comics, y'all.
Shitty top 3.
You know, does anyone here feel like they are neglected in terms of going first? Anyone? I'll go first then. I think the word of the week for me is just solid. You know, in terms of nothing really blew me away, but there were some really solid issues. Moon Knight, however, was just not good at all. If I could have a dishonorable mention, kind of formulaic and boring, a little bit too much exposition for me.
Glad I didn't pick it up.
Kind of just, I don't know. There's a lot of angles.
It's all right.
There's a lot of angles they could go here. Mental health, supernatural, like there's a religious, but they all just kind of hovered around all of them. It didn't really get its finger on any specific thing in this first issue. All the fight was just kind of causal. It didn't really feel like it had anything to do with the story, you know. He was just fighting just to fight people. It was weird. Yeah, I saw that, Eli. Eli blew a bunch of money and was like mad about it. There was a lot of bullshit. Nightwing is an honorable mention. Tom Taylor Bruno. Never a bad issue of Nightwing with this team. But this issue was a lot of exposition. I mean, for a pretty important retcon, you know, I like the retcon.
There were a lot of retcons this week.
But the cliffhanger, Blockbuster, come on. So just honorable mention. But my number 3 was Blue and Gold number 1.
It's an honorable mention of mine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Moon Knight, like Batman, only it sucks. Yeah, I really like Blue and Gold. Dan Jurgens, Ryan Sook, solid debut. Just a whole lot of fun. I mean, that's really all you can say.
It's Dan Jurgens doing Dan Jurgens Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I mean, there's really nothing you can say about it other than that. If you like that, you'll like this. It's nothing that's gonna blow you away.
Yeah, but that's kind of the part that blows you away.
Yeah,
it kind of is how simple it is, how direct it is. It's just Booster.
It's old school comics, old school superhero comics.
Yeah, I loved the inserting of the different, you know, social media posts. I love being able to follow them kind of as characters, you know. It was very creative. It just worked for me. The dialogue, bros before Rose, right? Talking about heroes, man, just perfect. I love the whole thing where they're going to recruit, you know, Blue Beetle, but they're like, nah, we don't want Booster. Classic, you know, we hate the Justice League sort of shit, which is kind of what the Booster Gold books thrive on, you know, that sort of slant. Nightwing was cool, dude. Nightwing never lets me down, but this issue just didn't have enough moving forward. It kind of went backwards. Yeah. But for good reason. So it was an honorable mention. But yeah, my number 3's Blue and Gold number 1.
Cool. So a couple honorable mentions this week. Flash number 772. This is really kind of Flash number 1 for what's this guy's name? Adams for his. I forgot
that this was that. I should have pick this up. Go ahead.
Well, and it was okay as an honorable mention. This was basically Wally getting his new job, and he's getting his new status quo. He gets a job with Mr. Terrific at Terrifitech.
Oh, good idea. That's a solid move. That's a solid move.
And there's some fun, you know, or not really fun, but Heatwave has cancer, and he goes on a burning spree at the end. But you know, it was okay. It was okay. And then other honorable mention, Marauders number 22. It was okay. It was solid. It just had too much retcon shit in it.
I don't care about what Shaw used to do.
Exactly. I don't give a shit about that.
I don't give a fuck. Same thing with New Mutants. I didn't care.
I cared more about New Mutants.
I mean, I cared a little bit more, but
my number 3 is
not all right.
Guardians of the Galaxy number 16.
Yes,
The Last
that's actually my
Annihilation.
number 2. That is my number 2.
It was a slow week for me, so that's actually my number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
This is a slow week for
Awesome.
everyone. I have a really weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
mine's
weird too. Mine is really weird too.
But I haven't really been following Guardians of the Galaxy for a long time. So the last issue, which was an unofficial gala issue, was my first dipping into Guardians. Right. But this was fun. It was setting up the Last Annihilation.
That's the biggest reason I liked it. Oh, that's cool, Eli. Yeah, I could see that. I could see New Mutants making me give a shit. It's all kind of coming together with Rain and the girl and the young people. But I think we'll talk about it in a little bit.
We'll talk about it later. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like the Last Annihilation. I like Nova, Gamora. I like the whole team. I'm still trying to figure out, what everybody's new status quo is. Like, what the hell's going on with Peter Quill?
Sure. Well, he's got magic-y powers now.
Apparently.
The reason I like this, it's Al Ewing and Juan Frigeri. Art spot on. Perfect sequential art in this. It just carries you right through the story, and which is needed because you're jumping to 3, maybe 4 different locations.
Yeah, and there's a lot of characters they are throwing in here too.
And they're not all in the same place. They got
they're all over the universe.
Hulkling and Wiccan are hanging out, and now they're separating. But you're able to follow everything.
That was a really good scene.
Oh, dude, that was an amazingly written and just well done scene.
That was great character work for Hulkling and Wiccan. And the writing for Dormammu I thought was really good too. He sounds fucking intimidating. I really like his little spiel.
Well, he definitely sounds like Dormammu. I love it anytime a bad guy gets their own little font and balloon, and anytime they can pull off those just ridiculous sentences. I'm peeling your flesh off like a snake or something like that. Only a guy like Dormammu can pull off a sentence like that.
Is it red on black?
No, it's not. It's orange on like a tinge of blue, I believe.
That works.
But the mindless ones, the use of the mindless ones is just perfect in this.
Yeah.
They have a history with Dormammu. Going back to like Doctor Strange's first, I think, appearance with Dormammu,
they're his
really
mooks.
fun. Yeah, there's folks.
But yeah, I'm reading from the speech here. Look upon my visage and no fear. Hear my words in your soul and feel it crumble. I scream blood and murder at your weak stars, and my screams are the armies of hell. That's ridiculous. It's like bombastic and over the top. There's a real talent for writing that and it actually being effective, and it was pretty effective here.
I mean, I really like this because it's really your standard comic book fare, but it was just done so well. It doesn't interfere with the Last Annihilation. It moves everything forward, and it was drawn really well. Yeah, that's my number 2 as well as his number 3. Did anyone else get the Momoko cover?
Nah.
That's a nice cover, though.
Oh, I couldn't resist. I could not resist.
I would have gotten it if I had seen it, but that is.
Yeah, I beat you to it. Not by much. I saw you Wednesday. And then the big reveal. This is from the end of the last big event, right?
Of Empire,
when they locked this dude up, the Empire event. So, how crazy is it? We're adding another member to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's a very spread out roster at this point.
I'm good with it. The Galaxy's a big place. That should be the tagline for this: Guardians of the Galaxy. The Galaxy's a big place.
They didn't even have Doctor Doom in this issue, and I still
he was not in here at all.
He was the reason I started picking up this book, but they still do pretty well without him. Yeah,
he's in the next issue of Sword. We'll talk about those tomorrow on the Monday night preview show. Him and Storm are having dinner.
Yeah, I saw a screen cap from that.
Me too. And that's the same writer. So yeah, that's a big treat.
Yeah, Sword and Guardians are basically sister books at this point. They're crossing all over with each other, and same writer. There's not an inch between them, really.
It's the bride's cake and the groom's cake at the same wedding. You really should eat both, but it's okay if you don't. But you're really you really should eat both because it's a wedding. The cake is fucking free every time. I don't care what they're charging at the bar. They always give you the cake. So that was Adam's number 3, Guardians.
Yep.
Dave.
All right, honorable mentions.
Oh man, how many you got?
I got 2.
All right, I'm trying to reel you in.
All right. The first honorable mention is this Mother of Madness book from Amelia
Oh,
Clark.
I hated it. Oh, I hated this book so much. It's garbage.
A lot is going on in here, but the art is fantastic.
The art is fantastic. It's some great design work too.
Yeah, it's a little bit scatterbrained from my taste.
It's very scatterbrained.
Yeah. But
and then you get to the end, and it's like this is how the girl gets her powers. When she's feeling sad, she like turns invisible.
Yeah.
When she's angry, she can stretch her arm really far, and it's like, what the hell is this book, man? What is this book?
But yeah, so it's an interesting premise, and I'm looking forward to at least seeing where issue 2 goes, and if it doesn't go anywhere else, I'm probably off the book.
Awesome.
The Blue and Gold book is my other honorable mention.
Good.
I do know that Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are generally like the buddy cop kind of comic book, and that's kind of what I got from this book.
A little zany, a little harebrained, but still, heroic and pure, at its heart. Yeah, dude.
I enjoyed it, but it didn't make my top.
And then Leroy didn't get it. He's like, "Oh, I got to read that." And Eli's like, "Dude, you fucking told me to get it. We were gonna review it." Go ahead. Oh, and they're gonna review that on the Comic Book Bullies.
I look forward to listening to it.
Yeah, me too.
My number 3 pick is Save Yourself number 2.
Oh, I didn't read this. This is the Boom Studio book.
The Boom Studio book. We get a little bit of a more explanation as to what's happening on Earth with this heroic trio. Apparently they are life-devouring monsters that travel from planet to planet, consuming the populations.
I don't remember reading the first one of these.
But there's a trio of superhero magical girls, and they're fighting monsters and stuff. And it turns out that every monster they fight is like one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check this out.
But we get this kind of this introduction to this kind of like Federation of Planets organization.
Oh, cool.
That says they're working to try to stop them, but this trio of monsters is skirting the laws by attacking non-aligned planets, and they've come to Earth.
Oh, so
there's a whole lot going on in here. We have like the main character. She's like, "Man, I was such a fan of theirs, and now they're responsible for the death of my brother." So there's a lot going on in this.
Good choice.
But if you like Lumberjanes and Glory Days, this is a good book.
All right, cool. Good rec. T.
I'll also throw out an honorable mention for Blue and Gold. Dan Jurgens is a writer from a different era, and that is kind of on display here. But, this is a character, if ever there was a character for the social media age, it is Booster Gold. And I thought it was kind of clever how they did stuff with that. Another honorable mention for New Mutants number 20. I don't care what you say, Gomer. I enjoyed this quite a lot. But
it was cool. I think
it is kind of interesting seeing.
Bit.
Well, it is moving forward because like the kids that we've been following for so much are starting to step in the shit. So we'll see how that pans out in the next issue.
I was really turned off by what they did with Scout too. I think reanimating corpses.
Well, they've been doing that though.
They've been doing that the whole time.
I know, but they were doing it for the reason was so that they could experience each other's experiences firsthand. It almost had this.
Well, they changed bodies with each other for that reason, but they started doing it with corpses so that they could get out of their bodies that they hate.
Yeah.
But whatever. Moving on.
But that was different. Those corpses.
We'll move on. We will get back to New Mutants.
All right. Okay. I'll also throw an honorable mention like Adam for Flash number 772. Not much to say about it. It's kind of your typical stuff, but it is a good illustration of why Wally is a better character than Barry, because he has like these built-in hooks that Barry doesn't have, like, trying to support his family and,
it was just fun watching his kids run around.
Yeah.
In that issue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I may have to pick that up. So they're kind of Spider-Manning him.
Yeah.
Making him like a man of the people.
Spider-Man doesn't have a family anymore.
Well, then it's still man of the people.
He hasn't had a family for a long time.
I've always felt Spider-Man was sort of like the man on the street sort of guy. Bringing anybody down to earth, in my opinion, is good move for comics,
Okay, but my actual number 3 is going to be Superman and the Authority. it was kind of slow. Not much is really happening in this issue, but the artwork was really good.
Ooh,
and I do like this take on, like, he's a Superman who's cynical by Superman standards, but he's still kind of got like this.
He's still better than Manchester Black, who, let's be honest, everybody is better than Manchester Black.
I didn't know who Manchester Black
hate
was.
Manchester Black.
I didn't know who he was.
He
is off-brand John Constantine with mental powers.
He kind of felt he was bigger in the '90s. He's kind of fallen off since then, but anyway, I think that it's got me for the next issue at least. I'm interested in seeing this dynamic with Superman working with the quote-unquote anti-hero crowd. So, interesting enough that I'm going to stick around.
Cool. My number 2 was Guardians, number 16. Great book. Show the cool cover, the good cover, and the cliffhanger. Captain Glory. Adam. Number 2.
My number 2 was Nightwing number 82.
Nice.
Nightwing is
that's my number 2 as well.
Yeah, it's a great series. This was a solid issue. That said, this is probably the worst issue of Taylor's run so far because it was all just retcon shit. That said, a solid issue of Nightwing is still better than most books coming out.
Agreed.
So
I had in my honorable mentions. Yeah.
Not much really happened here. It was missing that like fluid fight scene dynamic that's been like the hallmark of a lot of the previous issues.
Yes.
But that being said, it was still good character writing. Like, it was kind of neat seeing Dick's parents. If you're going to throw in a convoluted backstory, this is a better example than most.
It worked. The worked perfect.
It worked. It was fine.
There's no denying it now. I think my favorite part of the issue was Oracle calling off the Bat family.
I actually really like that. Yeah,
that was so rad, dude.
It was kind of wholesome seeing like all these people, including Bruce, showing up to like save Dick when he was in trouble. Yeah. It was really sweet, honestly.
Yeah. Again, a great issue, but I kind of sort of like to gauge issues by the weight of their own balance, I guess. You know what I mean? Measure them by their own length. And this was a short Nightwing issue. It was really short, But again, good choice. Good choice. Especially this week, man. It's a weird week. My number 1 is whack, bro. Go ahead, Dave.
Siphon number 1.
I didn't like this at all, dude.
I like this.
I hate this. It wouldn't be a week if Dave didn't pick something. I said it's terrible.
I mean, you've already done it twice. But...
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
My bad.
But yeah, it's basically it's like people get this power. It's transferred from person to person. They can kind of read the emotions of people. And apparently they also get access to memories. And the latest person to get this power is an EMT in New York City.
He heals people.
Yeah, he uses his power to help heal people. And it's kind of got like a Highlander vibe to it.
It does. It does feel like there's like different groups hunting him down.
There's at least 1 to 2 other factions trying to get this guy.
Yeah.
Since he acquired the power. But the artwork is stellar in this book.
The artwork's good.
A lot of good pacing, a lot of fast line movement.
I don't know. It was missing something for me. It's hard for me to put my finger on it. I found myself drifting away from the story because I kept thinking it reminded me of other things, you said, it felt like Highlander. It felt like a million fucking things, really.
Yeah, it felt very Highlander-ish, and it's...
but it might get better, so keep with it, buddy. Keep with it.
But that's my number 2.
Dr. Sleepish. Yeah, Dr. Sleepish. It's a good call. I'm glad. I should have invited Eli to the show. Now we're at the end. Go ahead, T. Number 2?
Oh, well, I'm done. My number 2 was Nightwing, and my number 1 was Guardian, so we've already said all mine.
Oh, you didn't have New Mutants on there, so Adam's got Mutants number 1.
Are you even listening when we're talking?
You got honorable mention. I don't. Right. I'm waiting on Eli to comment. So this comes around to my number 1. Man, if this isn't Dave's number 1, I'm going to be really surprised. Bermuda number 1.
I did not get that this week.
Oh, dude, it was rad. It's John Layman and Nick Bradshaw. It's a solid debut over at IDW. A plane crashes in the Bermuda Triangle or somewhere. A couple of rich kids. There's an island of monsters and dope shit. There's like a pirate place. There's all kinds of weird shit on this island. And I'll show you that in a second. And our Commandy-esque protagonist is Bermuda. She's the lead. She's been living there with a doctor who's been there for like 25 years, and we find out this is actually like a different universe or a dimension or something called Triangle. Dope art. Look at that art. Really full, fills up everything, and all the pages are like this, But the father, coincidentally, the father of these rich kids who are now lost in this place, was trying to build like an interdimensional portal to this crazy place, obviously to exploit it, but it came with a map.
And
I'm a sucker for anything with a fucking map in it, and it's got a lot of really cool places. Right?
I did not get that. I did not see this on the shelves, or I would have picked it up.
IDW sent me a copy. Fantastic art, solid intro to a pretty compelling world. Not so much world building, but world producing.
And the artwork looks really good.
And the artwork is bright, vibrant. Nick Bradshaw is awesome. Did you guys know that Goose from Top Gun, his name was Nick Bradshaw?
No.
I did not know that.
It was.
Or did I remember it at least?
Because I went to look for Nick Bradshaw to look at some of the other work that he had
done. And you come up with Val
and
Kilmer.
It brought up fucking Goose. And I was like, Great Balls of Fire! That's a Top Gun reference. Go ahead, Adam.
Thanks for explaining that to us.
I just want to make sure that David knows that Val Kilmer is not Goose.
I'll sing Take My Breath Away next. I'll do
that
it.
Is true. That was a pretty foolish mistake to make.
At least they don't do this stuff in the sequel.
They might. They might.
I mean, I saw the trailer for it on Friday.
It looks fucking rad, dude.
They're like out there shirtless on the beach doing something. So yeah, they're kind of doing it in the sequel.
That's my favorite part of the movie. I love it. It's so homoerotic. It's like, how did this get in this movie? It's like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, man. It's like, how is this happening?
All right. So
it's no Masters of the Universe. Eli.
I feel a Family Guy reference coming on.
Yeah.
Why is he always running in his movies?
Number one.
All right, my number one is New Mutants number 20. And I like this kind of for the same reasons that you like that Woodstock documentary. This is about the youth of Krakoa being promised this whole new utopia where everything will be better for mutants. And now that they're here, they're kind of realizing that's a crock of shit. Nice. They're sitting here and they're listening to the old New Mutants over there with their first world problems. They have their superpowers. They still look normal, but they're still doing the Crucible for their own reasons because of their own first world problems. Whereas Cosmar is sitting over there,
looking
all freaking out. No girl has no body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. We were talking about that like way back in the earlier parts of this arc where like Cosmar's like, hey, Danny, will you do the Crucible with me? And she's like, there's nothing wrong with you, said supermodel Danny Moonstar to the girl who's like maimed by her power.
Yeah. And these kids, they are angry at the machine. They're angry at Krakoa because Krakoa has promised them this great thing and it's failing to deliver on it. And the Scout body stuff is really weird.
It's weird. But if you look, it is. I think Taylor's was alluding to it. It's an evolution of the things that they've already done. It's just next logical step.
It makes,
and a lot of times
sense.
That's how it happens. That's how it happens.
I think that's a good progression for the story, and also like kind of a good like implementation of Shadow King as a villain because it's an escalation. Like it starts off with like some innocent seeming stuff and it gets like, hey, that's a little creepy, but okay, you had an explanation for it. But now, they're doing some fucked up stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the Warpath stuff, Warpath finally gets something to do. And,
but I mean, in the context,
not kidnap children, which is very big in the news right now.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fucking bigger.
It should be bigger. It should be bigger. It is a shame that it's not getting more attention than what it is.
I mean, there's those residential schools in America too. Wait till they start digging up those churches around here, man. People are gonna, it's definitely gonna hit. But yes, that was a huge, huge deal. With all that, with the whole scope of things. I mean, I guess it never occurred to me that. Are mutants from Krakoa really just kidnapping mutant babies and running them through the gates? And it's like, oh, sorry, is that really happening? Maybe Eli was right.
People in this issue certainly thought so. Whether or not they're actually doing that, probably not. But
maybe Krakoa is a bunch of Nazis.
But perception is reality to these people. I mean, that's what they thought. They were willing to kill all these mutants for it. So
Eli said it from the beginning after Hawks and Pox. He's like, yeah, the mutants are just a bunch of fascists now, a bunch of Nazis.
They basically are.
Oh shit, maybe they are. Maybe they are. And then maybe I'm the Nazi. I didn't even know it.
It is, and it also is a little weird that No Girl was the one who was talking to Daken for Scout.
Yeah.
But all the shit that No Girl said as Scout was delicious.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was so true, so cutting to him, you know. I don't know. It's a very slow week, and shit actually happened in this book.
It's true. It's true.
And I've been waiting for shit to happen in the mutant books, because Hellfire Gala really slowed everything down.
It did. It felt like everything was getting back, but man, I don't know why. I didn't skip over this issue. I read this issue. Maybe I didn't read it in the right mindset.
Since the new creative team took over, New Mutants has been a top-tier X book, I think.
I think so. It's been on that side, you know, of the scale, I would say. On the good side. But yeah, I don't know why I sort of skipped over this issue. Who knows? I mean, I know I've been skipping over lately, but I mean, I do remember reading it, and everything that everyone is saying about it is, you know, spot on. But yeah, I didn't even give it a mention. Good choice, Dave. That leaves it to you.
Alrighty.
Taylor's already let that cat out of the bag.
Radiant Black #6.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no shit, but don't hang out for yeah, good issue of Radiant Black. Go ahead.
Because we finally get the backstory on Radiant Red. And
finally, they just introduced her last issue.
No, they introduced her like she's been running around since like the very first couple of issues.
But I thought it was a different Oh, okay.
I mean, we're only on issue number 6. There hasn't been that long since any of these characters.
Radiant Black has been at odds with Radiant Red since.
Yeah, but they introduced 2 new people.
They introduced two new Radiants, but this is the backstory on Radiant Red and why she turned to a life of crime was to cover her boyfriend or husband's gambling debts.
Her fiance's gambling debts.
Yeah,
he's a douchebag.
But he's a bit of a dick. But the artwork in this book,
he might have an addiction. You know, I don't want to put all the blame on him.
But yeah, he basically puts their home and their lives in jeopardy with his gambling problem. But the artwork in this book is stellar. I love the artwork in this book.
This is really a book that's driven by the art. It feels sort of like neon Power Rangers. You know, it's really a neon feel to the art and the coloring. Kyle Higgins got a lot going on right now.
Oh yeah, but this is I just love this. There's like that one reveal where she's at the bank and it's just 3 panels and the bank teller's like, well, your account's empty, and it shows the screen, her face, and then like a forged signature.
Yeah,
and it's just a lot of great storytelling.
Just in a few pages.
Yeah. And there are some 9-panel layouts in this book that I just absolutely love.
All right, so excellent choice. We got to talk about, I guess, the elephant not in the room. I mean, I know I mentioned it because it was a dishonorable mention, and no one really keyed in, and I didn't really push the matter because I figured someone was going to at least mention him. But no Moon Knight? Nobody enjoyed
Moon Knight?
Fine.
I mean, it was fine.
Like it.
I didn't pick it up.
Maybe it was the hype. There was so much hype around it that I was expecting a lot more than what
I heard about it.
Never given a shit about Moon Knight. So I didn't pick it up. I only read it because Jeff Lemire wrote it.
Yeah, the Lemire run was great.
Maybe the Jeff Lemire run on Moon Knight remains the gold standard for that character. But Adam is right in that there's not a lot of other choices contending there in the first place. You know?
I mean, is this just a matter of? I mean, you could put that dude on any, like Tom Taylor. You could put him on. Like I'm reading fucking Nightwing. Are you kidding me? I'm reading Nightwing.
Yeah, they put Tom Taylor on Moon Knight. I'd read Moon Knight.
Right. So
the thing about Moon Knight #1 for me this week, though, is that it was mostly just forgettable.
It was.
I mean, it wasn't particularly bad, but it was not particularly good either. None of the fight scenes were particularly engaging. In fact, a lot of them were mostly off-panel stuff.
Boring.
Like he killed like those 2 vampires, like just basically like he drops the skull. Cool scene and everything, but we didn't actually see him fight the vampires. You know?
I'm just not sure what I was expecting from Moon Knight, but I know I didn't get it. The
Jeff Lemire stuff really leaned into making it kind of like a psychological thriller because, like, we don't know, like, is this actually a threat or is he just in an insane asylum?
Something?
Yeah, That's a good point.
That's what Gummer's big complaint, it seemed like, was it didn't lean into anything. It just kind of it just kind of
that is a fair point.
Everything.
I bet this was one of those issues where it's like we need to get as much of Moon Knight's status quo injected into this for any audiences who might be looking at the show later. And that does probably make the book suffer for it a little bit because they touch upon him having multiple personalities. They touch upon the Khonshu shit. They touch upon they touch upon a lot of stuff, but don't really get very much into any of it. And you're right, that is kind of forgettable.
It felt more like a swamp.
It's a forgettable book.
Swim. Yeah, more like a swamp than a swim. But anyway, great art though. The art was fantastic.
That's pretty good.
But anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Go to let me put up the damn thing. Go to outrightgeeky.com. We got a bunch of links to shit there. Shows we're doing all week long. Come back tomorrow for the Monday Nighter, and we'll talk all about the comics that are coming out next week. I'm going to start reading those as soon as the show is over. Great week next week, man. It really is. I haven't even looked at what DC's coming out, but I know Marvel's got some great
Batman.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure there's some Batman. So, awesome. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. But thanks to these three jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Did you guys see the video where it's the Batman 66 theme song, but it says man? It goes, no, man.